Hey everybody, how you all doing? I'm here today with a special movie review. Well, it's a long overdue movie review. This says one of the few makeup movies that I want to do for you guys since I won't be doing Action Sunday this weekend, since I'll be attending a concert, the Dewey Brothers concert. They're playing at the State Theater in New Brunswick, New Jersey. So yeah, well, so believe it or not, I do enjoy their music. Seriously, how can you not like them? But expect a concert video. But anyway, let's get back on track. So the reason why this song overdue one was I really wanted to do it, but things got away. But I still remember this movie so well because there's a lot to unpack for this movie. But I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible. But I will admit, this movie had me on edge for the most part, because this movie, Kandahar, is in the same, I would say, is kind of the same vein as Zero Dark 30. But of course, now comparing apples to oranges, whereas Zero Dark 30 was an Oscar-winning movie that involved this kind of thing. This was actually based on another real-life event that really happened, which involved a CIA operative and his translator. So yeah, this really did happen. Supposedly, somehow word got out of this covert mission. Somehow the curtain was blown, and they had to go on the run. This operative and his translator, and it gets really crazy. It's a very scary real life experience. It's essentially like the biggest manhunt kind of chase I would ever expect to see. But I will say, Gerard Butler brought the heat in this one. He totally kind of carried the movie for the most part. But the actor who played his translator, I forget his name, but he does a really good job. And I felt like the chemistry was there for the most part. But you can tell it was like the uneasiest of relationships between these two characters, even though they were based on real life people, essentially. And essentially, it just goes from there, and eventually they just learn to trust each other. It's one of those kind of scenarios, and yeah, I was just waiting to see what will happen. Are they going to gather there safely? Sure enough, well, we all know what happens in the end, but of course the real scary thing is, of course, the Taliban and Al Qaeda, doing what they can. And I'm like, oh my God, this is shit that you always hear about in the news. And of course, I'm gonna say something. I might get some hate on this. And of course, this is one of the reasons I don't want to give much weight. It kind of filters into what happens. So I remember what I said. Somehow it was exposed via a journalist cover-up. Somehow it was intercepted through the Iranian intelligence, because what happened was this journalist decided to call in on a bugged line. Which, of course, here's a thing. When you live in a country where that government bugs every phone line, you're not gonna get your way, because they're gonna be listening on everything. And of course, because of that, I'm going to get some hate for this. This is why journalists should keep their nose out of business that shouldn't belong to them, especially secret government operations, like what happened. All right? So I'm sorry for that, but that's the godful truth. They should stick their nose where it doesn't. They always stick their nose where it doesn't belong. And this one, and this was a real story. This really did happen. This journalist stuck her nose where it didn't belong. She got arrested. She almost got beaten to death, raped, and all not. But somehow she lived. Everyone lives in the end. But of course, the way to get there was just incredibly scary. In real life, I was on edge. I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? But the real crazy thing is, I did not expect for them to get bombarded in the desert, somehow survive an RPG attack, and getting chased in the freaking desert heat, all without getting killed, is just beyond me. But of course, did that really happen? Obviously not. Probably this was just exaggerated for the movie, but who knows what the real story was. But overall, this movie was I would say it's on a different level. Like I said, if I'm comparing this to Zero Dark 30, Zero Dark 30 was a masterpiece. This one I feel like was just a rung underneath it, but it still left us connected to these characters, to an event that actually did happen, and we feel the sympathy and we feel the anger, and of course in the end we're all just begging for hope to see what happened. And again, all these guys, the entire crew did a great job. The cast, great stuff. But overall, this was a very great enjoyable experience. By the end of the movie, I was like, they're safe. mission accomplished. Okay, now Gerard Butler can take a break. I mean, man, between this and playing, man, he is like the go-to guy for these kind of thrillers. All right, and with that in mind, I'm gonna give Kandahar. I'm gonna give Kandahar a 7.5 out of 10. That's as best as I'm gonna give it. All right, but yeah, like. Even though the movie's no longer in theaters, I believe it is available streaming soon. Again, maybe another repeat eventually when I get my hands on it. But I did find myself thoroughly enjoying this pretty cool romp, which kind of was up my alley in a way. All right. So yeah, that's it for today. Let me know what you think. Those videos, subscribe to my channel. Stay tuned for some more awesome and exciting content.